taking part in an exhibition of Ahmadiyya literature, translation of the Quran, etc. And the first reports which I have received are more encouraging than I could ever expect. The entire attention of the intelligentsia is now focused on this exhibition. The librarian who is in charge of the exhibition first had fixed the period to be just 1 week. Now, after seeing it, the very first day himself, he was so impressed that he said, this must continue for at least 2 weeks. And the Muslim leader Ridwan, who is the member of parliament and leader of the party, he expressed his view, or another professor, I don't know which, but one of the two very important people, that you don't know, it is a very great thing for him to have done. Because all the days of the years are previously booked. So he must have scratched some other programs and gone through a lot of trouble in extending the period from 1 week to 2 weeks. Then he said that all members of parliaments must be invited to this exhibition. Then he said all intelligentsia must be invited. So he published an open invitation and distributed far and wide for the people to come and benefit from this. And the interest created among the people who come and visit this is immense. They are already booking orders for books and this and that. So this is why I said, apparently they are more yatama, but potentially they are much less yatama. They are looking for a father and they are ready to accept it. Others think they don't need anything. They don't need any guidance. But this father figure question also may be misleading. Actually, Hazrat Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has been described in the Holy Quran not as a father but as more than a father. This I must explain to you now, because Khatam al-Nabiyyin is a term which is not expressive of his being a father. Prophets are father, and he is the father of all prophets. So his relationship to all the ummas is more than that of a father. He is father to all prophets. You understand this point? So, being Khatam, people having left his spiritual son, is truly the state of being orphan. Hazrat Masih Maud should be taken to be understood as the spiritual son of the father of all prophets. And those who reject him, they impose on themselves a state of orphanage from which unfortunately they can't be led out because of their obstinacy. Right? Still you can have the right to understand them to be greater orphans. I don't have any objection against that, as far as you believe that. Yes, please. Assalamu alaikum.
Two of our sisters would like to ask questions.
Yes, please.
The first is Sister Nashwa, and she has written her question in Arabic, and Sister Maha has translated it into English.
Right. Will Maha read it or will you read it?
Maha will read it.
Please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
The question of Sister Nashwa is regarding the miracles of the prophets. She says that we know that God is able to do anything, but He does everything according to the laws of nature. But what she wants to understand is how was Hazrat Jesus ﷺ born without a father, and if this is a supernatural miracle from God. And the second part of her question is she wants to understand the wisdom. Why does God make the miracles of the prophets in the Holy Quran seems like supernatural miracles, and what is the wisdom behind this?
Supernatural miracles?
It seems as if it's when we read the Holy Quran, it seems as if it's supernatural, like the rod of Hazrat Musa.
Yes, I understand now the point. You see, first of all, the understanding of miracle has to be corrected. The word, I have spoken on this subject at length and in depth repeatedly so many times now that I can't repeat all that I have already said in this short session. First of all, I advise you to get those cassettes which are available here and pass them on to the lady who has asked this question. She can listen to them, and inshallah all the aspects of the question which are bothering her will be resolved. But because she is here and she has asked a question, briefly I'll answer this. Miracle does not mean that God makes a law and breaks it. That is a reflection upon God. It is not an attribute to God. Any sane person who makes laws and knows at times he will have to deviate from those laws always leaves exceptions. And they are incorporated in the legal code so that without breaking the law, he meets the extraordinary situations and resolves them satisfactorily. How could one expect of God to have created law of nature himself, yet having left no cushioning, no alternative possibilities, so that when some crisis arrives which cannot be resolved by the ordinary law, God has to break his own law himself. That is a situation totally inconceivable from our point of view. As we understand the logic of the Quran and the logic of God's personality, we totally reject this concept. Hazrat Masih Maud, speaking on the same subject, has mentioned that laws have many tiers. Some laws are known to man. Some overriding laws are still there but unknown to man. So a miracle appears to be a miracle to an ordinary person when he knows only the superficial laws which are known to man of that period and does not know the other set of laws which are also laws, which don't break these laws but are overriding. The example which Hazrat Masih Maud has not given but I have been giving, I can give here once again. The law of magnetism. The law of magnetism was unknown to the people of some 1,000 years ago, and even people of a few hundred years ago in some parts of the world. They know only the law of gravity, that earth must pull everything down to itself. This is how they understand the law of gravity. Now, if a magnetic field was created above a person and who was wearing also a metal which responded to that magnetic field, and he was lifted, the people who did not understand the phenomenon of magnetism would consider it a miracle in the sense that the law is broken, while no law is broken. Gravity is also a law of nature and magnetism is also a law of nature, and one law put against the other follows the overriding principle that whichever acts more strongly would win. But the laws will not be broken. Similarly, in earlier times, many things about the chemistry and physics were unknown, and people who knew those things in advance of the age would be able to bring about certain tricks through their knowledge. And people would understand that he is master of the law, he breaks laws, while the fact would be that he is not breaking any laws. So God so ordains that those laws of nature are brought to operation, which normally are not active. And under the influence of those superior and more